Welcome to Logic Over Faith. Here is the question that won to stop knocking. If there is a God who created us, loves us, and wants a relationship with us, why the silence? Why the hiddenness? Today we'll test the idea with reason, fairness, psychology, and history. By the end, the quiet won't feel like a riddle. It'll feel like an answer you can actually live with. Picture a parent who says, "I adore you, trust me, follow me," then lives behind a one-way mirror. The child pleads for guidance and gets second-hand notes from relatives that contradict one another. We'd call that neglect, not love. Scale it to the universe and ask, why do we praise the very behavior we condemn at home? If a loving God wanted to be unmistakably known, clarity isn't hard. A publicly verifiable signal in the stars. A consistent, measurable pattern in answers to prayer across cultures. A universal moral code delivered in the same literal words to everyone, everywhere. None of this removes free will. It just removes confusion. You can know a parent exists and still choose to rebel. Knowledge doesn't cancel choice. It makes it meaningful. Yes, sunsets are moving, and equally available to everyone with eyes. A scientist sees optics, an artist sees color, a believer sees design. Inner peace shows up in churches, mosques, temples, and secular meditation halls. When one experience confirms mutually exclusive doctrines, it doesn't uniquely confirm any of them. It confirms the human capacity for meaning. Then there's fairness. Billions are born into different religious ecosystems. Some never hear a credible version of your faith. Others beg for a sign and get only their own echo. If eternal destiny hinges on belief, how is justice served by cosmic silence? On Earth, punishing people for violating unpublished laws is injustice. Why would the highest love operate with the lowest standards? History adds pressure. As our explanations improved, microbes for disease, tectonics for quakes, electricity for lightning, the space where God did it once lived kept retreating. That doesn't disprove God, but it reveals a pattern. The more a domain is testable, the less divine intervention explains it. If a being wants credit, showing up mostly where we can't check is a strange strategy. It's the signature of stories, not signals. Some say ambiguity builds virtue, humility, perseverance, faith. But trust that depends on not knowing is fragile. Intellectual honesty says, believe in proportion to evidence, stay open to revision, and don't dress wishes in certainty. Real humility is admitting, I don't know, not insisting that darkness is light. Sincere seekers exist everywhere. Some find Jesus, some Krishna, some nothing, often tracking with the culture they were born into. If a loving God wants relationship, the bottleneck shouldn't be geography, language, or which missionary reached which village. The more outcomes depend on human distribution, the less it looks like divine distribution. If God exists, He designed the very minds that now ask for public, repeatable signals. We have senses attuned to light and sound, but no intersubjective God sense that two strangers can use together. We're asked to steer eternity by a compass that never points north the same way twice. That's either a puzzling design, or there was no designer to intend otherwise. Meanwhile, silence is expensive. When God does not speak plainly, humans do, loudly. We write creeds, split into factions, and fight over which note on the floor came from behind the door. If one universal broadcast could end centuries of religious conflict tomorrow, why hasn't love pressed send? Two options remain. God exists, and the silence is a necessary mystery we can't fathom. Or there is no voice behind the quiet, only quiet. The second fits the data with fewer contortions, and it isn't despair. It's adulthood. If no one is coming to tell us what to do, responsibility returns to us. We can publish our values clearly, test our claims publicly, and make compassion our open-source revelation. When you stop forcing meaning into the silence, You start finding it in each other. Transparent laws, honest debate, measurable progress, and everyday acts of care. The hiddenness stops being a puzzle and becomes an answer. We're not being ignored. We're being returned to one another. If this sharpened your thinking, tell me in the comments. What would count as unmistakable evidence for you? For more clear-eyed philosophy without the fog, subscribe to Logic Over Faith and turn on notifications. If this helped, tap like, share it with a friend who loves hard questions, and I'll see you in the next one. Question honestly, care deeply, and don't forget to subscribe.